I want to get into the addiction thing, and I want to set this up by saying, let's pretend that I don't know anything about addiction. Okay. Let's just talk like potential implications. Let's say you told me that smoking cigarettes is addictive. Okay. I might think, like, well, I kind of don't really need to smoke anyway. It's a little gross and kind of expensive, not really my thing. So that's fine. Cocaine, snorting cocaine is really addictive. Well, that's also fine because I don't know where the local drug dealers are. It's not
Yeah.
easily accessible for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's around, but it's not around me, so I can't find any. Heroin, same thing. I don't know where to find it. If you told me that carbohydrates and sugar in particular are addictive, I'm going to go out into the world and go, holy smokes, we've got a big, big, big problem because you can find sugar and carbohydrates
Everywhere.
everywhere very inexpensively and easily. My hardware store sells candy bars. Like, there's
Yeah.
vending machines at my hockey rink that I play at. Like, if we're saying that carbohydrates and sugar are addictive, then we have a massive problem.
Yeah, and they created marketing created the bliss point years ago for us to stay addicted to things. It's crazy. And addiction really isn't about what happens and it's about what happens in a person's brain when they're exposed to rewarding substances, psychoactive drugs, or rewarding behaviors, which is processes. So, I mean, it's chronic and progressive. It's more chronic and progressive. Type 2 diabetes is not chronic and progressive. You can stop it, but addiction is chronic and progressive. And behavior change is the only way for long-term healing. You have to change your behavior. It's the only way. And the group support is magical. Group support is magical. I had to have group support eventually because it got to be tough without a group of like-minded people to cheer you on and help you, or just call, for accountability buddy. Just say, hey man, I want to eat that. What
Yeah.
can you help me walk me through this? I got it real bad.
It
It's same.
sounds no different than Alcoholics Anonymous.
No, it's not. And it's a lot of lying, hiding, and sneaking. And I did a lot of lying, hiding, and sneaking to my family over the years to go eat. And I would not just eat like one piece of pizza. I might buy myself a whole large pizza and eat it
Wow.
when they weren't home.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
can't even imagine doing that now.
Yeah, I know that you've come so far. It's interesting to think about that now. And again, I want to just reiterate, you in your mind, you are 100% convinced that carbohydrates and sugar are addictive, because there are some people out there that say it's not. I think that's a little ludicrous at this point, but is there any question in your mind that
Oh,
carbohydrates and sugar are addictive?
it's very real, and it's chronic and they think it's a mild uh, addiction, but it's not, because sugar is everywhere. It's everywhere and it lights up your brain. They have scans that they can do where it'll light up your brain more than cocaine when you do an MRI. Have you seen those studies? It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I have.
It's
It's crazy.
it's really sick. And we promote sugar cereals, and it happens when we're small. It starts when you're very, very small.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, and that's what people need to know. It's not their fault. You can get a plan for treatment to protect yourself. And when you find out it's a brain illness and it's not your fault, you can do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting when we think back on the history of how we started to find sugar and refine it. We found an ingredient we really liked, and so we started
Yeah.
to ship it, make it really cheap, and ship it out everywhere. You almost wonder what would have happened if that substance would have been cocaine. And to think that, like, child parties could be cocaine parties, and when you're sad, you just do some cocaine, and when you're happy, you just do some cocaine. Got a promotion? Let's do a whole bunch of cocaine. Like, what
Yeah.
we would abhor thinking about a world like that, knowing what we know about drugs, yet here we are with the same problem where you're right, it's just everywhere, even in the womb. Like, think about the baby coming out of a mother who's gestational diabetic. That baby is already conditioning itself to be in a high glucose world where it needs to be pumping out more insulin.
And it's a dopamine rush, everywhere. And so we constantly want that high. Once we start, you feel that way. That's why you feel like crap when you eliminate it, because you've been getting that high and your reward centers are all lit up and you're looking for your next fix.
Yeah. Terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So tell us about the different types of addicts. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, you okay, so you could be a social user, which I kind of talked to you about that. You never get obsessed. You never lose control over it. There's no consequences. You don't get craving. We call that a normie. So there's social users. I'm definitely not a normie. And then there's a harmful user, where you eat by culture. You don't really know better. You don't have any knowledge. You eat because maybe you're stressed or you're unhappy. Um, you don't really understand addiction, but moderation does work for a harmful user. So moderation is okay for them. You ask them, um, why they're doing it. Why are you eating? You ask them why. But with an addict, you ask, how can I help? How can I help you? Because an addict, one that's addicted, is pathological use. So they have a loss of control around the food. Um, it's what happens in their brain when they eat it. So moderation is not going to work for them, and they have to have abstinence. And that would be someone like myself, where I have to have abstinence, because once I eat it, and I've had some relapses over the last 5 years. I've had a few relapses, and I thought, well, I'll just participate and eat one. Well, then that's all I would think about for days. And then,
Yeah.
next thing you know, it's been a couple weeks, it could go into a month or a year. Luckily, that didn't happen to me, because I came clean with my family that I messed up, and we helped me get me back on. But I mean, some people think that's crazy that I'm doing this over food, but it's very real. It's
Yeah.
very real.
Yeah, we had a dietitian. I really appreciated this quote, and I really liked it. And this quote was something about like moderation, and like good human nutrition means that sometimes you overconsume, sometimes you underconsume, sometimes you celebrate events with people, and it's about culture, and it's not so much about measuring and tracking and all this stuff. And through my nutritional journey, I have loved that quote, and I am so jealous of anybody who can approach it that way. And as much as I love that quote, I know that myself and you and many, many other people out there have to abstain. They have to be abstainers. Maybe if it's not even the one thing, it's the cascade of events that triggers afterwards is just terrible. And for some people, you can't touch it.
I felt shame. I felt so much shame, and it's not there anymore. So I know, attempting to moderate whenever you're addicted it just makes it deeper and deeper into your illness. It just brings you deeper and deeper into it. So you definitely don't want to moderate. And then there's denial. You have denial. Well, I can just eat one, or I can just go out with the girls this one night and have one. But you just got to learn how to protect yourself, plan and protect yourself from yourself.
Yeah,
Is what I tell
yeah.
people.